Thanks for watching What's in the Box. Today we'll be taking a look at Neca's Toony Terrors Wave 6. As you guys know, I sort of love the Toony Terrors line by Neca Toys. They're kind of a throwback to a simpler time and simpler figures. They have a limited amount of articulation and paint and detail, but that's okay. As much as I love Neca Toys and the details that they do in their normal lines, there's just a certain childlike innocence to what they do with this line. It's very Scooby-Doo, very simplified, and I kind of enjoy that for what it is. They're also cheap, anywhere from $12 to $15 a pop. Some of their deluxe sets, well, 2-packs, might be double that at most. I was super excited about Wave 6 when I particularly saw these three characters here. What you have in Wave 6 is the Miner from My Bloody Valentine, Elvira from Mistress of the Dark, Herbert West from Reanimator, and Captain Blake from The Fog. Now, I don't have a lot of knowledge about this Miner character from My Bloody Valentine. I'd simply watched the remake. But he was sort of a hack and slash guy in this small mining town, and I believe he stole the hearts of young girls in the town. And that was about it. I saw the remake and thought it was fine and fairly enjoyable. Now, I have loved Elvira since I was a kid for more reasons than you think. It's a great character. Cassandra Peterson does an amazing job and has been had a lot of longevity as Elvira. So when I saw this, I was like, yeah, I've got to get that. It's just a unique and fun character. Of course, I watched her movie Mistress of the Dark multiple times over the years, and it's been pretty much a mainstay every few Halloweens to watch. Now, moving on to Herbert West, he is probably one of my favorite horror characters. Just the uniqueness that's portrayed and how he speaks and acts, and it's just a really cool character for that film. And the film is freaky and good, and yeah, it's great. And then of course you have Captain Blake from The Fog. John Carpenter, at the height of his horror film career, pulled off this kind of slow burn, I don't know, pirate invasion movie. It's hard to really put a pin in it, but it's nice and suspenseful. Captain Blake is a long dead pirate captain. Well, maybe they weren't really pirates, but a captain of a ship that had a multitude of people on there. And I believe they were sunk by the town or pushed off by the town for a long time to the point they died. And they come back for revenge. So yeah, out of the box, I think they're a nice little set. And I look forward to breaking these down for you even more. Now, as far as articulation, all four of these figures have basic articulation for the line. That means you're going to get a little head movement, side to side, some movement of the arms up and down. He's a little stiff at the moment, and then pretty much nothing past that. You get a little bit at the ankle. Of course, Elvira only has articulation in the head and arms. Again, a little tough to move on this figure, but no feet due to the way she's been sculpted, but she stands really, really well. Taking a look at Herbert West, he has some articulation in the waist. Oops. And then some in the shoulders, and a little in this one hand. This one stays stationary. Moving on to Captain Blake, you have the typical shoulder articulation, and then you have just a tiny bit of head articulation there. His hair kind of gets in the way of that one. Now, as far as their accessories go, the miner comes with this pickaxe. It's a simple paint job with the gray for the metal and brown for the wood of the handle. Past that, he has this little Valentine's box, which is painted simply red and pink with a little white inner part of the flower. It, I believe, held the hearts of his victims, if I remember in the film. Not too bad accessory-wise. Elvira, absolutely no accessories, and that kind of sucks. I would have liked to have seen maybe a little gripping hand and a candelabra in it, maybe. Or that her knife was removable. That would have been cool. But, yeah, kind of nothing for her, sadly. As you get to Herbert, you have a syringe filled with his reagent, which he helped use to raise the dead. Past that, you get this lovely little tray with the good doctor's head inside. I forget this character's name. He's fantastic in the movie, by the way, so forgive me for that. But this is specific to a scene in that film, and they capture it perfectly. This head is removable. I simply have it held in with a little blue tack there, but that's great. And then you have Captain Blake. He comes with a simple sword, but it has a really nice paint job to it. It's a brown handle, gold overlay there, and a nice blue and gray blade. That can, in fact, fit down into his scabbard. But past this point, it gets really, really iffy. Now, paint-wise, most of them turned out pretty well. Of course, again, we're going to expect simple paint. So just simple solid colors, and that's about it. The miner is done well. Most of his outfit is just straight black, but he does have some covers to his boots that are brown, and his belt is brown. There's no real paint slop to mention with him, and that's a really good thing. As for Elvira, sadly on this particular one, and you may find some that are better, she has quite a little bit of paint issues. Now the face is great. There's hardly anything wrong with it. But when you get down here in her cleavage, as many would like to, the paint on her dress is kind of jagged and weird and wavy. That's a little disappointing. There's also a little bit of a splatter effect around one of these sleeves. But that is about it for her. As you move on to Herbert, again, simple. Very little paint issues at all with him. Nice solid brown hair, white coat, dual colored brown shoes, black pants. The iffy part with this one is simply the tie. It too has sort of a jagged edge from where it's been painted. And then Captain Blake, who was trying to escape a moment ago, is done really well as well. As a matter of fact, paint-wise, I probably like him the most. Again, fairly straightforward paints: brown boots, blue pants, brown overcoat, brown scabbard. and then a off-white shirt. What really stands out with him is the the paint on the body. This very, I don't know, it's not really bright, but it's just this sort of pastel purple and pink with these horrible red eyes. And of course, you have to have those eyes in there because they were a big thing in the film. That really kind of gave him his presence, these glowing red eyes. But he's done really well, and there's very little paint overdone on him. There is a little bit of overspray just on the front, but that's it. So as far as rating these 4 figures, I think I'll rate them as a whole. There's not a lot of expectations from this line because they're so simplified. But following our 3 A's of appearance, articulation, and accessories, we'll rate these figures now. Overall appearance is good. They selected a great set of characters. Paint is fairly decent. A little few issues, particularly with Elvira. Not too much else with the set. They have a decent little shelf presence, and I think because of that, we can give this a solid 4 appearance-wise. Now, concerning articulation, the line isn't expected to have too much articulation. We're not talking 22 points of articulation. We're talking like 3, 4 at best, usually. So we have to kind of make our rating appropriate to that. And since these are mostly standard for the line, we're simply going to rate them at a 5. Accessory-wise, there are plenty of accessories for all but Elvira. Again, disappointed in that decision, but it is what it is. The Miner has 2 accessories that are pretty decent. Captain Blake, simply his sword, but what else would you give him? And Herbert West coming in with the most accessories, 3, being the syringe, the head, and the pan. I'm really going to have to ding them a little bit with Elvira. I will try not to let my disappointment there get in the way of the rating, but her having none whatsoever will simply have to put accessories at a 4. Now, when it comes to my final comments on this set, I think they're pretty great. They're exactly what you expect from the Toony Terrors line, and they're enjoyable to play around with and add accessories to, and yeah, I think it's a decent little set. Again, fairly cheap. I paid 50-60 bucks for these, and I think if you like that line, you'll enjoy these as well. Just check the paint apps. Make sure you're getting solid figures if you can. If you're buying online, well, it's a crapshoot, but you should be okay. I've never had any of these figures turn out horrible. So yeah, if you enjoyed the review and the figures, go out, try to pick them up at Big Bad Toy Store, Amazon, any number of other places, eBay, you know. But yeah, I think you'll have a pretty good little set coming to you if you're collecting this line. As always, like and subscribe, comment. I try to reply. But overall, I'll simply catch you next time.